Hello and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to talk about spanning tree for VLANs because there's a big difference between logical and physical spanning tree. Sometimes I read comments from people saying, if the spanning tree changes, no, the physical spanning tree. Cisco recommends that it's better to leave it alone, and they're not entirely wrong. Whereas for spanning tree in the logical sense, well, there it makes much more sense. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about for a moment. This is the lab. So what happens? I've already carefully placed the port state names here for our review. We will thoroughly examine them together, but in any case, this particular port is currently disabled and inactive. So, for instance, if I have multiple computers connected here, for example, in this setup, if this computer wanted to contact this other computer, it would take this path. It would arrive here. It's also true that if I had this computer here, for example, connected, it's clear that it would be quicker to go this way. But unfortunately, it will take this path here because this port is in a physically blocked state. Okay, now, why is spanning tree used for VLANs? That's the reason it's used. Now, let me clear this up for a moment. The explanation is very simple. Just imagine having, let's see, if I can manage, just imagine having switches in a company where you have many VLANs with 10 gig interfaces, for example, and all the traffic goes through a single link. So you have super fast interfaces. But all the traffic goes through just one link, and this one isn't used, so this link won't be used until something in the network topology changes. For example, if this link goes down. Now let's do a quick test. In the meantime, I'll quickly show you here the configuration of this, the port status, more than the configuration show spanning. And we see that the port E00, which is in a blocking state. Now, for example, if I were to open up the personal computer, the PC, which is located in VLAN 20, and then proceed to type something, I type, well, it's frozen. Okay, I'll just write it. Never mind. I'll turn it off and back on. And here it is. The IP address we are currently working with is 192.168.20.2.24. Okay, if I now proceed to try and execute a ping command from this particular computer, which serves as our source machine, and direct it towards this other designated computer, which is our intended target, the expectation is that the ping operation should successfully establish a connection and receive a response, thereby confirming proper network connectivity between these two devices. Ping 192.168.20.1, and you see that it works. Now, how can I show you or figure out the actual path it takes? Which is, as I told you, that is, from here it goes through this switch. From this switch it arrives here, and not the other way around. Apart from the fact that I showed you the port was blocked, and that's the end of the story, but we need to be sure. Perfect, so let's take a look at how to do it, because it's really simple. I'll just do a quick show IP and get the MAC address. The last 4 digits, then I go into the switch console. Here on switch 2, enable the display of the MAC address and also the address pipe increment value. And I enter the MAC address. Okay, this MAC address, which is the one for this PC, I receive it from port E00. So it's certain that the traffic goes through this route here. Let me try to draw it for you because I'm not sure you'll be able to see it clearly from YouTube anyway. The traffic definitely takes this path and not this one, since we've already seen earlier that the interface is in a blocked state. Now, having said that, let's move on to something more interesting. Let's change the route. So we changed the route, and in this way we've solved all the problems. So how do you do it properly then? I want VLAN 10 to go through this link, and then I also want VLAN 20 to go through this other link instead. So on switch 2, I tell it this. I need to count the spanning tree mode for the specific VLAN spanning tree configuration, and then subsequently I will proceed with the spanning tree protocol implementation. VLAN 10 route primary. primary. Then I will show you how it can be easily replaced with priority, and we will assign it a specific number. Anyway, I will demonstrate this to you as soon as I have completely finished typing out the command. Then we tell it spanning tree, VLAN 20, root, secondary. If I now do show VLAN, show run, you see here, this is what I said as primary and secondary. I know this one is primary even if it's not written, because the lower the number, the more important it is. So if it's 0, it's definitely the primary. In this case, it's lower than the other one, so switch 2 is done. Then I go to switch 1, and I basically tell it the same thing. Enable the comfy spanning tree mode for VLAN spanning, tree VLAN 10 root primary. This is because I specifically want VLAN 10 to go through this particular link. For spanning tree VLAN 20, I've configured it as root secondary. I have carefully set this up because in the event that this link goes down, and in this specific scenario, I am not setting it up here. VLAN 20, it doesn't let VLAN 20 go through, and that's done. Then we go to switch 3, and we do the same thing. Enable conf. Then we do spanning tree mode for VLAN spanning tree VLAN 10 root primary. Because by doing this, clearly it will link VLAN 10 from here, then spanning tree VLAN 20 root secondary. And it is indeed quite clear that it will precisely link VLAN 20 from here. Then here, instead, I'm going to tell it that on this switch, I'm going to tell it exactly this. Spanning tree mode for VLAN spanning tree, VLAN 10 root secondary is specifically configured for spanning tree VLAN 20 root. The primary configuration is now done, so at this particular point in time, I will proceed to show the spanning tree status. And we see that the interface is still in a blocking state. Because here, by giving this command, I see the physical spanning tree. But if I specify spanning tree 10, you see that it tells me the spanning entry. The port for VLAN 10 is this E00, while the others are designated. But it says this because this is the shortest path to reach VLAN 10. But if I specify VLAN 20, okay, here nothing appears, and that's simply because it sees the root port from their switch duet. Show spanning tree VLAN 10. And it should be see interface I00, because that's what we want. And interface 01 instead for VLAN 10 is in a blocking state for VLAN 20. We can see that the root port is 01, which is right here. Now let's try this just like we did before. I'm going to the switch. 2, I've completely lost it. I've truly lost switch 2, the second switch. And here I am. Let's take a good look. And then we also definitely need the computer. We specifically need PC7, which is located right here. And we will perform a ping operation just like we did before. Exactly the same way. Then I go and retrieve the command, and you see that this MAC address, which is this computer, I receive it from port E01. That is from this port here. So now it's clear that the traffic passes through this computer, where earlier we saw that even before the spanning, Per-VLAN, it was passing along this route, or path if you prefer. Now it's clear, you can see it well because I receive it on this interface here, which means the traffic now passes along this route. However, let's also look at something else, since the video is already done anyway. Let's take a look at switch 4 now. And I need switch 2 for a moment because I need to copy the command with the command. And here it is. You see this MAC address. Here it is. I receive it from the interface. And double O, which is located right here, where if we carefully check, once again, just to confirm the details, show you better. Now, I don't know why the terminal won't open for me. I'll just reopen it. No problem. If I type show spanning tree, it still shows me port E0 as blocked because I repeat, we're talking about the physical spanning tree, which is a different matter. If I wanted to, I could change the topology of the physical spanning tree, but Cisco doesn't recommend it. And honestly, I don't recommend it either. Me neither. Because now clearly on such a simple topology, in order to change the reason why I would want to change the topology, if there were a link like this, now here it says that the ports aren't on the switch, that's fine, I'll draw it, no problem. If, for example, there were a cable between these two, and for some reason I tell it, look, okay, this is the preferred path, but if this link goes down, instead of going this way, you do something else. Dear switch, send the data this way. So that's basically the reason or the motivation why I might want to change the spanning tree. The physical entry is this. Sweet, but I highly advise against it, but you can try doing this with Packet Tracer if you want, or with GNS3, or with PiNet Lab, or if you have EVENG, use EVENG. I know that many of you might not agree, but sorry. I advise against using GNS3 for several reasons, forgive me. Packet Tracer for several reasons as well. The first one is that you don't have the flexibility to install firewalls or Windows Server inside the lab and build more elaborate labs. The second is that with all those little blinking link lights, it's cute. I've used it for a long time. It's good, especially for those who are just starting out and don't have the slightest idea. The big problem is that if you don't get used to it right away or don't do enough practice, let's say intense practice on the console because you see the little lights, then you can't anymore. Or in any case, you have trouble seeing the topologies in the real world, which topology in the real world is this. I mean, the console shows you something else. So you can have the Visio diagram, but a technician who checks the Visio diagram every time. If I, for example, need to find a MAC address, I use the console. I don't start looking for it in the diagram to figure out where the switch is. There could even be 20 floors in the office. I call the user, I ask them to tell me their MAC address. They tell me my MAC address is 1, 2, and 3, and I start looking for it. Then, if I want, I can also do the whole trace. There's a video on the channel. There's one called Find the Port, where I show you how you can trace back from a MAC address by going through all the switches. So that you, as you're watching, can take a quick note on a piece of paper, a notepad, whatever you want, and you make your own topology for that moment, though, because maybe you need to solve a problem. That said, I hope this video was helpful to you. If so, leave a like, or rather, leave a pleasure. Regardless, really, just regardless. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe if you have any requests for other types of spanning tree protocols, like the minimum spanning tree MST algorithm, which, unlike the more common spanning tree protocols used for VLANs, actually creates distinct and well-defined regions. Well, technically speaking, these are officially called regions within the protocol's specification, which is a significantly more powerful and robust approach for network management and optimization. In short, it's better, but it's also a bit more complicated. However, if you want to see how it's done, leave a message and there's no problem. I'll make a video for you. Thanks for watching this video and see you next time.